LALECHE. Parity, not patriarchy. Past, present, futures. Here we are again as the Equinoxtrueqsz, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. That's what we like to call ourselves and use, all of us, everyone's. But in order to connect our names and purposes to hers and histories on this, her homes and all our planets and all the archetypal languagings of that, we also call ourselves other names, such as including several young goddesses and gods archetypal use. Now, does that mean we're trying to become a pantheon above others? No, of course not. What we are delivering is divine democracy, so that all the incarnated souls that Goddess God has made, makes and shells, makes past, present, futures, in nonlinear space-times, cans and shells and cans be reunited back and forth in circles, times, and balance and contact. Now, does that in any way suggest that we're trying to usurp the ever-living authorities of the one Mother, Father, Goddess, God of the universe? No, of course not. There is only one Mother, Father, Goddess, God of the universe, ever present in all creations and all sustainings, including us and all that we shells and cans and haves ever known, past, present, futures, including all our families and communities, all the females reparatively, and all the females and males equally used reparatively, so the I is in it, back and forth in circles, times, and balance and contact, and all the flora and fauna that Goddess God has given us to co-steward and appreciates. And so we also says, Namaste, the divines within all speaks, the divines within yous and alls. And we say, Biko to you, Oyasin, Biko to you, Kosirol. We are all related. We are entities and all related, because we knows that we are entities and all related. We can cans and shells and cans and shells and cans comes back together again, back and forth in circles, times, and balance and contact. And we also says, the lights within us greets the lights within yous and alls. We say, of course, Gonks on Pox, and Ba'aval, Chaim, Shalom, and Soul, and Namaste, of course, this time of Purims and Holies and more, all the spring holy days, and we, of course, because why? Because we know is that we are all created of star stuff, and because we're heeding the kindness and the wisdom of divine feminine friendlies and egalitarian civilizations, especially the Magellan era, and especially Atlantis and Thrace and Ubuntu, going back and forth to mitochondrial Eves before after Druids and the Iroquois and the nativities and the Vedics and more, and all of our various cultures on this and all our planets, as well as this and all our continents, because space-time is not linear. And so we also, therefore, call ourselves other names, such as Co-White Calf Buffalomen, Co-Changing Women, Co-Iroquois Goddess Clan Mothers, in fact, Iroquois Goddess Sister Cousines, and Co-Cousin Brothers Goddesses and Gods of Clans and Jets. We call ourselves Co-Sky Women's, Co-Earth Women's, Co-Spider Women's, Co-Kachinas, Co-Katsinas, Co-Daganach, Co-Kalki, Co-Avashaseros, Co-Indians Voodoo's, Co-Zerashans, and Co-Couszmic Chrisztsz. Now, don't let that word Christ stresses and he stresses. Don't let that word Christ in use. The word Christ in ancient languages simply used translates anointed. Anointed to do what? To do greatest kindness and wisdom for all humanities back and forth in circles, times now cosmical use. And so we also call ourselves other names, such as Co-Estelarians and Co-Eastelarians. That is, Co-Aesteralians and Co-Aesteralians, because we are combining the messages of Shushan, that is 50-50 promise fulfilled and delivered, with that of the Galilee, that is the Magdalens and Nazarenes equal use, and reparativeness of the divine feminines of all the females, and the equals of all the divine feminines and masculines of the females and males, and connecting them to their ancient heritages of the Venusians and Mayans, of Atlantis, especially the conceptual mysteries, and Thrace, and Ubuntu, and back and forth from mitochondrial and Vedics, and Druidics, and all the continents, and all back and forth non-linear space-times, so that we becomes always reborn into nativities and always risen springs. And therefore, very real stargates, Atlantis, and all holy lands and circular citizens, and the very real last, it shall be first teams, very real Stargate and Star Trek put together for parity, peace, cultures, heavens and earth on this and all our planets. Now, it sounds like a daunting task to currently to open the Stargates and the Akashic records for reborns and resistance humanities, but actually it's easily accomplished via the new millennial rule, which you can read at 50/50 now. .wordpress.com, and then just next week read the 11 steps for easily accomplished strategies for making us and thus so's. And you'll also see a page on the website called Among the Representatives use, and use, because use to shells and cans and shells becomes with us. Equinoxtrueqsz, Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. The only issue I've been concerned about would be silly and stupid to lose our incarnation and this opportunities, and then therefore this planet. You have to do this again for somewhere else in the universe, according to God's recreation incarnating of us. But actually, according to our common goods and not so good. But we believe in cans and shells and cans and complexes from years now in connection with other planets, and you can see our names and pictures there among the records, and yours too, because we have picture frames to connect you to our family trees. We start with first our great and grandmothers, and then all the Shkinas of our families, all the females of all generations, and then equally, especially our younger generations, especially with some generational responsibility for youngers, and our Elohas and Elohims, all these circles, and always females and males, so essentially equally for opening the stories in our Akashic records. We can say some of their names, we can't say all of them, we'll say some of them. We will say you're going to say and Queen Esther and all the Iroquois goddess grandmothers, and more recently, of course, Lydia Costanza and Barbara Herschel and more currently Lydia and Virginia Valentin New Times and Virginia and Lydia, and we also have, of course, our co-wake up Buffalo Women's. We have Myrtle Rosary and Pearl, and especially Mount Patricia Sunflowers, and equally Martha's, Myrtle's, and Sophie's, and Anne-Marie Singing Crickets, and Willies, and Laura's, and Laura's there, and we have all, of course, our Ubuntu's families, our Richards, Yamadas, we have our Anne's and Josephine's and Anne-Marie and Leah and Gailas and Goggies, lots more there. Our Lights families, Bonnie's and Sylvie's, lots more there. Especially right now, of course, our Hannah's and Allen's, our Estelarian families, our Holy's families. We have many on the Vedic family tree, and of course, especially near St. Joe's Shore branches, intertwined with all these is Magdalene's and Nazarenes, our intertwining of Venusians and Marians, and that includes Estrella and Libertia and Estrella, and equally especially beloved to us, Sarah Harriet, Radiant Ray, and Sarah Harriet, and equally so traveling back and forth in circles, Dem, Clarity, Clara, and Jubilant, Jacqueline, Chris, Antoinette, Prison Rose, Grandma Marie, Grandma Popper, Grandma Neville, Grace, Restored, Grandma Dorothy, teach and learn the lessons of the Wizard Justice of Wizard Justice of Oz that we all are in connection with Gaia and Lynn and Leonie of the Gaia theory branches, and our Rachel and Wilson Kai, the Stargates families, and our current females. We have our Esthers and Rachels and Anne-Marie's and Julia Marie's, Equalies and Barbara's and Jenny's and Dia's Divines, and lots more there, and especially our youngest generations. We have our April's Arisen, Rose Arisen, Earth Angelines, also predicting the new earth to eat us. We have the Hallels and Hesperuses, our Lighting Leads, especially beloved to us, of course, our Vanessa Salia and Harlem's Miss Wesley's, our young couple, and also Hadass and Colonel and Leon Ross and Ben Shin and John, Bright Shine and Jubilant, and Moore's our Comingsz. Very marvelously, so miraculously, always Estelarianly, always Eastelarianly, all relatedly scenes. La leche. That's 11's. Parity, not patriarchy. Past, present, futures. Every's blessings.